Hi, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. And this today is an expansion. Oh my God, my hair. Anytime I take this hat off. This is an expansion of a conversation. That's better. This is an expansion of a conversation I had on an Instagram account. Not directly, but with a sequenced video with Audrey Helps Actors podcast. Now, number one, before anybody believes that I am besmirching Audrey, I don't remember her last name, which is the only reason I'm calling her Audrey and not Miss or Mrs. or Dr. So-and-so. Audrey Helps Actors podcast is a great podcast. It's really, really useful for actors. It's got a lot of great advice. I would listen to it. I would go to find the clip I'm referencing where she talks about the cult of non-union. I would go to that clip, watch that clip. This is a 10-minute podcast. I don't link in things at all. She'll be tagged in the Instagram version of this post and added. I'll probably try to add her on YouTube as well. This is an expansion of a conversation. And the conversation, essentially, Audrey's overall point with the post about non-union is the benefits that the union, being in the union, confers upon actors, young and old, and the benefits of that, and that you shouldn't go without those benefits. You should have those protections when you're on set. You should have a union that's looking out for you. You should be part of a membership, a strong body of membership for actors. And SAG-AFTRA is 100% one of the premier acting organizations in the globe. I'm not going to just call it a union, right? The stars, the great actors of our day are all part of SAG, and there's a reason they're part of SAG, because they are high-profile actors. They book a lot of work too, and they have union protections because the actors should. I really should have shaved my neck before I did this so somebody doesn't call me a neckbeard. But there's a nuance to the conversation. And I think it's hard to get that nuance. Audrey is making a good point, but there's a nuance to that conversation. You should join the union, but you should join the union when you're ready. And when you're ready means that you have a resume that can stack up to other union actors. When that is for everybody is going to be different. Some actors who start acting when they're very young, and they start acting when they're like 10. At 14, they have a resume where they can stand out in a crowd. And the only point with the resume that I'm making is that to get your foot in the door, to get an audition, you have to stand out from the crowd. And that's the same with any job. This isn't unique to acting. That resume, that piece of paper, that stupid little piece of paper and your headshot, those are your calling cards. That's what draws somebody to call you in for the job interview, for the audition. From there, it's your acting skill. And your acting skill at any point could be enough. Good God, my hair. Could be enough. Could not be enough. The role could be wrong for you, and you might just not get it. You might look like the producer's ex-wife. I don't know. What I mean, but why I say stay non-union. Don't be afraid to stay non-union. Don't be afraid to not be pushed into the union. And I don't think Audrey is pushing anyone into the union. I think she is encouraging union membership. And that's not a bad thing, like I said. But the reason you shouldn't feel pressured to jump in right away is because there are just so many more non-union projects, right? Not all of them are going to be high quality. Not all of them are going to have great teams. Not all of them are going to be completely safe, which is why you need to have a strong network behind yourself, protecting yourself. And you have to be aware, right? If you've got a 5-year-old and you want to get your 5-year-old into acting, first of all, don't. Second of all, if you're going to do that, don't just randomly send them to sets because somebody said they should come to set. Maybe check those people out. There are resources to do that don't require you to be in the union to do that checking. But non-union work is a really good way to build your resume, to build a tape that you can then use to showcase to higher level casting directors that, yes, I am in fact a very, very talented actor. Another thing to remember, you don't have to be in the union to join an acting class, to find a good acting class, to find a good acting coach. And just like a pro athlete, you need a coach. Matthew McConaughey didn't have a coach, and look at what he went on to. Great and wonderful things. But Matthew McConaughey has a presence on camera that you do not have. If you do have a Matthew McConaughey-like presence on camera, you're not listening to 10 Minutes with Nick. You're busy making high-level movies with I don't know who's the hot actor right now, Austin Butler, maybe. It's just a nuanced conversation, and you have to really talk to people you trust before you make the decision to go into the union, because once you're in the union, you don't go out. You can't be like, I wasn't ready for this. I'll be back in a while. No, if you leave a union, they're not happy about it. Like you don't get to come back. Like they're not pleased when you do that. And it's not because they hate you, and it's not because they are like so anti non-union. It's literally, that's how, if employers could bust a union that way, they would. Because you just come work and leave the union, come work, and there's no consequence. You can just go back to the union as soon as the strike is over. It gives the union no teeth. Union law is an incredibly complex area of law, and all of union law that most actors don't understand applies to SAG-AFTRA. Collective bargaining agreements, striking laws, the whole thing. It all applies, and you have to be aware of that. And not only aware of that, you really got to just wrap your arms around that whole thing before you jump in. Now, you should absolutely get on as many union projects as you can, because you can't join the union until you do a union project. But in certain areas and for certain projects, union producers will do what's called a Taft-Hartley. They'll Taft-Hartley you, which is just filling out, from the producer's end, it's more complicated. From the actor's end, all you need to know is that they fill out paperwork essentially saying, I couldn't find a union actor to do what this non-union actor can do, so I'm hiring them for the union project. And that gives you eligibility to then join the union. Eligibility does not mean you have to join. There's a couple of shades of SAG eligible that you go through. When you get to SAG must join, which is a union status, you must then join after a certain period. You must then pay dues to be on the next union project. Now, I say this all from both experience as a lawyer who did business litigation, dabbled in employment law, and as an actor who didn't have all the information when he joined SAG-AFTRA. Now, I've made a lovely little career for myself, and I'm building that career, and it's going very well. But that was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I've only booked a few jobs that weren't like student films or short films or like a web series. I've had to create a lot of my own work. I've been lucky to find people who like the writing I do well enough to back my work so that I can give myself more high quality tape. But I'm giving it to myself, and it costs money, and it costs time, and I have to be a producer. I have to write scripts. I have to go through the back-breaking endeavor of, and for some people this wouldn't be so back-breaking. Like if you're not a creative person, you're not necessarily going to understand where I'm going here, but just let me cook. I go through the backbreaking endeavor of creating characters, killing characters, and forcing and putting words into people's mouths as a writer. It's what I do. I finish a script. I'm so excited about it. The majority of the world doesn't care. And I have to go through that deflation every single time that I write a script. And you know what would be so much easier? If I was getting more auditions, using somebody else's, but I don't get them. Because I'm a union actor with not enough credit. So I hustle, I grind, I make as many connections as I can. And I film the crap out of scripts that I've written that I know are high quality. And I work with as high quality of actors as I can get around me. And I get a high quality director of photography and a great director and a great camera and a great gaffer and a great grip. And I build crews and I build productions. Not everybody can do that. So I say this, Audrey, with I'm not love and affection. I'm saying this with all the respect in the world, because I don't know you. I have no reason to have love or affection for you, and you should have no reason to have love or affection for me. You should have no reason to have respect for me, but I have all the respect in the world for you. I agree with you that joining the union is something that actors must do eventually. And I say that as a must. I do not recommend a career as a non-union actor. Do it when it's right. Don't jump the gun early. Don't say the second you get eligibility, like I did, say, oh my God, I've got to be in the union. Play the game, have the patience, and join when the time is right. Or don't listen to me. Listen to people who know more than me. They're out there. Just don't listen to people on Twitter. Don't go to Twitter. It's a scary place. That's all I got for you. I'm out of time. I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Have a great day.